Hello everyone, today we will learn together, drying and incineration of sludge. Sludge drying. It is the application staff and industrial equipment, treatment method for deep dewatering of sludge. Let's first take a look at the principle of sludge drying. Sludge drying according to the contact mode between thermal medium and sludge. It can be divided into three major categories. They are directly heated, indirect heating type and direct-indirect combination type. First, direct heating. So it is the heat generated during combustion, direct contact and mixing with sludge. Allow sludge to be heated, water evaporates, and ultimately obtain dry sludge products. So this is an application of convective drying technology. Indirect heating. It refers to the heat generated by burning sludge in a furnace. Transfer of heater wall through steam hot oil medium, so as to make the wet sludge on the other side of the gas wall. Evaporation of heated water, and remove it. It is the application of conduction drying technology. Direct-indirect combination. It is the integration of convective conduction drying technology. In here, flash dryer among them. It is currently the most widely used type. The picture you see, so it's directly heated. A schematic diagram of a rotary drum sludge drying system. The characteristics of this system: direct contact between sludge and hot air. Drum type sludge. No rotating parts. High space utilization rate. Dried sludge appears in granular form. The particle size can be controlled. Adopting gas circulation and reuse design. Reduced exhaust emissions and treatment costs. But all circulating gases need to be treated. The scale of the dust removal device is relatively large. The requirements for controlling the oxygen content of gases are also relatively high. Next, let's take a look at the picture on the right. So this graph indirectly adds a stock conversion. Sludge drying system diagram. Its technical feature is that the process is relatively simple. Drying of sludge. Degree controllable. The product at the end of the dryer is powdery. Less auxiliary air required. Insufficient exhaust gas treatment equipment. But there are rotating parts inside the drum, so the volume of the sludge channel is relatively small. The equipment occupies a relatively large area. Rotating components require regular maintenance. At the same time, a separate heating system is also required. High energy consumption. And this diagram is the flowchart of a fluidized bed. Its characteristic is that the drying effect is very good. The processing volume is also large. There are no rotating parts within the entire drying machine itself. Therefore, maintenance is not required, but its particle size cannot be controlled. A separate thermal coal system is also required. Meanwhile, the gas flow inside the system is relatively high. Dust removal, cooling, and other processing equipment are relatively complex. The scale is also very large. Next, let's take a closer look together. The principle of sludge incineration, and the factors that affect its incineration effect. Incineration of sludge. It refers to the treatment of dehydrated or dried sludge, relying on its own calorific value or auxiliary fuel. The process of entering the firing furnace for heat treatment. This is due to sludge itself has a certain calorific value, determined by combustibility. The principle of sludge incineration is to operate at a certain temperature, under the condition of sufficient oxygen in the gas phase, causing combustion reactions of organic matter in sludge. The reaction results in the conversion of organic matter into carbon dioxide, corresponding gaseous substances such as water and nitrogen. Reaction process. The heat released is used to maintain the temperature of the reaction, enable continuous processing. The products of incineration treatment are fly ash and flue gas from furnace slag. Sludge incineration is a common method of sludge treatment, can destroy all organic matter, kill all pathogens, and minimize the volume of sludge to the greatest extent possible. Everyone can take a look together. This is some factors that affect the effectiveness of sludge incineration. The moisture content of the first sludge. The second is the temperature of incineration. The fourth is the degree of mixing between waste and air. Next, let's learn more about the equipment for sludge incineration together. Sludge incineration equipment, mainly including vertical multi-chamber incinerator and fluidized bed incinerator, also known as vertical multi-stage incinerator. For example, This picture, it is a vertical cylindrical shape, refractory steel equipment. Inside the device, composed of many levels of refractory materials, furnace, stacked layer by layer. Generally, there are 4 to 24 furnaces. There is a stirring device on each furnace, can pick up sludge, make it spiral upwards, burner with auxiliary fuel through the furnace, so it's also located above the furnace, fluidized bed incinerator. The structure is relatively simple, as shown in the figure, so its advantage is to use quartz sand as a heat carrier, forming a suspended state under the jet of hot air. After adding the mud cake, intense mixing with hot sand and dust, the thermal efficiency of conduction is relatively high. Short incineration time. The furnace body is relatively small. The entire incineration process includes decomposition, oxidation, polymerization and other reactions. In the exhaust gas generated by combustion, also contains suspended unburned, or partially burned waste ash, etc. Some small amounts of particulate matter. Not fully burned. The product contains carbon monoxide, hydrogen, aldehydes, ketones, and other organic compounds, and nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxide. This is mainly due to the different composition of sludge, different combustion methods. There are also certain differences in combustion products. That below is a discussion on several major pollutants. See what control methods they have. For example, the formation and control of the first nitrogen oxide. The front mainly needs to reduce oxygen. Reducing nitrogen oxides is a measure to control. The second is the formation and control of hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride is an acidic gas. It can be controlled in 2 ways: dry method and wet method. The third is the formation and control of sulfur oxides. The front mainly needs to be controlled from the source. Need to add sulfur fixing agent. The fourth is the formation and control of smoke and dust. So in the smoke and dust, we mainly need to consider increasing the concentration of oxygen, raise furnace temperature, by washing and dust removal, to control smoke and dust. Last one, it's also the most difficult problem we're facing right now: control of dioxins. The main methods we currently adopt are: reduce incomplete combustion, carbon production of macromolecular organic products and carbon, stopping the chlorination process, prevent the synthesis of aryl groups, control dioxins through this. The above is what we are going to learn today. Thank you.